Welcome to the Black American Hebrew Unity Discussion. And I'm your host, your brother, Black Sheep. And what we do here is cover the Black Caucus, everything that got to do with the Black Caucus, from down here at ground zero to up there, to them angels descending and ascending on the Jacob's ladder. Okay, meaning I'm talking about politicians, Black American news reporters, uh, everything, hip hop artists, actors, everything. We cover it here on this channel, Black American Hebrews. So come on in, brothers and sisters, and this is just your host chopping it up with you. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to touch bases with you, brothers and sisters that's already subscribed to the channel. What is it? We in this here, you know what I'm saying? Still working at it, you know what I mean? And like I say, Rome wasn't built overnight, man. So we just gonna have to stay working at it, and continue to push forward in what it is that, we come to do. So come on in, brothers and sisters, my enemies and my friends, you know what I'm saying? For all the Black Americans that are of the Black Caucus. Come on in, man. If you have it in your heart to step up to the plate and want to become some form of a help, in the awakening of the Black Caucus, then subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, with the videos, and stay in tune, with the information that's being presented here on this show. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's just me, but later on I'm working on, putting together, a team that can help me also push this message that this channel is open up to convey, brothers and sisters. So so Black Caucus, let's look on, brothers and sisters, see what kind of news we can cover. And remember, we play it by ear here because a lot of the content I can't share because it's copywritten. I'll get flagged as, rules that we have to follow as bloggers, putting information out, brothers and sisters. So, okay. So, all right. So let's run in, brothers and sisters, with, news today.
Showing results for news today.
And whatever, okay, so pay attention. It's got to do with nothing but the Black Caucus, brothers and sisters, and for worldwide recognition for our, other nationality brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, of, Israel. This is for they recognition, but it's for Judah's, edification and development. So come with your sicknesses, brothers and sisters. Come with your hardships. Come with your burdens. Okay, come with your heavy loads. Please come home so we can be able to get in line, okay, and be able to be seen by our Father, be seen by our physician, our doctor, which is our Father, our higher. So come on, brothers and sisters, come on home. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you hold it within your heart that you see something for the Black African Caucus in the United States of America, and it's a possibility you may even be able to, contribute to, you know, doing something in part in waking up the giant. Then subscribe to the channel. We got work to do. Okay, brothers and sisters. So it says here, well, here, it's, certain news. I want to be covered. You know what I'm saying? I want to, be in a certain state of mind as I'm, being, going through this news feed also, and like I say, everything that has to do with the Black Caucus, I want to be able to cover it, whether it's good or bad. And just know too, brothers and sisters, I'm just letting you know, just so it won't be no hard feelings on nobody's side. I'm supporting the Black Caucus, win or lose, for good or for worse, should I say. And I'm sorry. All right, brothers and sisters, let's get some news up and what's going on. And let's get something. News today ain't covering shit, but, war, which we are already familiar with that. The Black Caucus.
Showing results for the Black Caucus.
It says, hey, look at the history of the Congressional Black Caucus after 50 trailblazing years. Okay, and that's two. Let me see. That's 3 minutes, brothers and sisters. If you want to cover it. And then it says history of the UCSF Black Caucus Part 1. And okay, this was 4 years ago. And the other one was a year ago posted. The changing face of the Congressional Black Caucus. So let's cover this too, brothers and sisters. We got about
Toyotathon is on at Merced Toyota.
So I think my microphone is bringing up right here. So I share the mic with you, brothers and sisters. So let's pay attention, see what's in store, see what we can cover, see what we can make sense out of, see how we can assist.
This whole discussion about, progressives versus establishment, I gotta say, I don't know if black folks care. I think they're like, how are you going to help my situation tomorrow? So sometimes this feels more like a Twitter fight than a real life fight. However, it is a discussion that's happening, especially when it comes to the CBC. How older established candidates may sometimes differ from younger, more progressive candidates. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts?
Tips, there's so many. This is a book in and of itself. Maybe this should be the sequel to yours, right? I think there's a lot going on here, and part of it is there's a way that our elders in particular are used to doing things, and folks are coming in, they're completely different. You're talking about 57 members strong. I remember sitting in a meeting with Congressman Rangel, who of course was one of the founders of the CBC, who said, it was so much easier when we were smaller, right? And I think that that's true for all of us. We know how hard it can be to galvanize and organize around a mission. We have friends right now in the streets. There's 2 different voting events happening, and we know that black folks are battling to not only protect democracy, which is what we've always done, but you saw, of course, Reverend Sharpton flanked by CBC members today. There are some other members who want to take a way more aggressive approach. So most of this isn't even ideology. We can look at the Progressive Caucus, where CBC members, there are 27 CBC members who are members of the Progressive Caucus. If you look at their voting records, it's probably closer to 50. So it's not an ideological ideological divide. It is really more style than substance. And so the question for the elders that I would ask, and I love y'all, CBC family, is how worth it is it to continue to exacerbate the divide? We have members of the caucus who have benefited from the strategy of challenging incumbent Democrats. I'm not somebody who's like, go and take them on. There are a whole lot of Trump folks, right, that need to be taken on first. I really don't like taking on black Democrats, but I digress. But there are members, including Congressman Meeks, who is the chair of the CBC PAC, who benefited from Elliot Engel being challenged. He now sits in the chairman seat that Elliot Engel once held at Foreign Affairs. So again, like I said, there are, we could go miles for this, there are bars for this, but I just wanted to give you some examples of where you see some slight differences, but really when you look at the end result, we all get to the same place.
That's right. And people supported Elliot Engel over, I believe it was Jamal Bowman, who was challenging him. So let me turn to you, Roro, because Angela made a really good point that maybe it's not an ideological divide. It's really more style and substance. I want you to take a listen to this soundbite from Congressman Clyburn, who was confronted by some progressive activists outside of his office, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
I want my constituents to be out here using your energy to get more progressive people to vote. I'm more progressive than any single one of you in this room. So go out and get more progressive voters. Don't waste your time out here. Get everything that we need done in this country. You're wasting time. Yes, you're wasting time. And I am more progressive than any single one of you.
Congressman Clyburn was not here for it. He said, I'm more progressive than any one of you. What's your take on all this, Roland?
Look, I need people to understand, if you don't look at history, then you don't understand today. You had Congressman Ralph Metcalf, who was the second African-American member of Congress out of Chicago, who was criticized because he was tied to the Daily Machine. And then, of course, when Fred Hampton was killed, he led an effort for an investigation. You have always had CBC members who differ. Remember, today is the March on Washington, the anniversary of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Congressman Adam Clayton Powell was fighting Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and others because here he was with power in Congress, political power, and they were out in the streets. You always had this divide. We also need to understand something, and black folks have got to realize this here. Every black member of Congress is not from a, quote, black district.
Right.
Let me repeat that. They're not from black districts. Significant white population, the Hispanic population, gerrymandering, how it's also impacted. And so when you say you're representing us, no, you have to understand the makeup of the district. Every congressional district is 700,000 people. And folks lose sight of this. So a Congressman Sanford Bishop here in Georgia is from a more conservative district, how it's drawn. Then you had, of course, Congresswoman Nikita Williams. And so people lose sight of that. It's also a question of power. At the end of the day, if you're a Congressman Clyburn and others, how they view it with to get things done. Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver said we are more pragmatic. And so you have folks who would say we can be super progressive and never get anything passed. Or you have to actually compromise. Folks say, I hate compromise. Well, guess what?
Right.
There's no bill that gets passed in Congress that does not involve compromise.
That's right. And you know what? Roland made a good point, Angela, because Congresswoman Laura Underwood, one of the younger members of Congress, she represents a district out of Illinois that's overwhelmingly white. I think their black population is less than 4%, and she got elected.
2% black.
2% black. Thank you, Ro. Her constituencies are 2% black, and so she has some loyalty to her constituents, I suppose. I don't know what happens when their interest runs contrary to the majority of black folks. But I want to get from you, Angela, is this, because a lot of people ask me, what does the CBC do? Like, what are they doing for black people? And when Reverend Sharpton and I did radio, we used to always answer that question. The CBC does a lot. Are they a powerful enough body that these 57 members can say, you know what, to Latasha's point, we're going to hold the line. We're not going to vote for anything until you pass voting rights. Can they do that?
They can and they should. I don't know if they will, right? I think what we should remember as Roland talks about history is how the Congressional Black Caucus was founded in 1971. So after Adam Clayton Powell, right? Again, Mr. Rangel challenged Adam Clayton Powell. So in 1971, this is after they had a meeting with President Nixon. They gave him more than 60 recommendations of what needed to be done for Black people. So I would tell the CBC writ large, and I know this is something they wrestle with every Wednesday meeting. What is your mission? What are you about? They are called the conscience of the Congress for a reason. When there is a budget presented by the Democratic Party, by the Democratic Caucus every single year, the CBC has an alternative budget reminding the country, reminding Congress of what its priorities should be for Black people. We cannot run too far from that, trying to protect a majority overall when that majority doesn't serve us. And that majority won't serve us if the CBC isn't constantly using that bully pulpit that now has grown to 57. It's 58 if we count Sister Vice President Kamala Harris as the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. I know that's a stretch, but I'm going to claim it.
That's right.
We have to remember, right, what they're supposed to be there for. And so I understand there is no CBC power if there's not a Democratic majority. But we have to first remember what our foundation is, and that is protecting the interests of Black people, even for those members who don't come from majority-minority districts. You will not be in power if there aren't Black contributions coming to you from all over the country. So
Right.
we got to have a balance. I do not envy them. I get to talk about it. They got to vote on it. But I really want them to harken back to their foundation.
Yeah, I hear you. And Ro, sorry, I didn't know if you were saying something, but go ahead, Ro, real quick. We have like 10 seconds.
No member of Congress owns a seat. If someone challenges you, then you run. I don't care if you're Black, Latino, white. And so if you get challenged, suck it up, campaign, and make your point. But nobody gets to get upset because someone challenged you because you challenged someone else.
So, what do you brothers and sisters get out of that? You know what I
This whole
mean?
discussion about,
It's a lot of questions about the Congressional Black Caucus. You know what I'm saying? Good questions about the Congressional Black Caucus. What I took from that whole conversation was that the Congressional Black Caucus, is a organization in and of itself who have ambitions to supporting the Black Caucus for the edification and development for their counterparts, which is the Black Caucus. And they also have a opposing counterpart also they're dealing with in the Congress legislative branches up in the White House. So like my instinct, excuse me. Hello? Oh. Sure, I'll take it. Excuse me, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you. Sure. God bless you. Thank you. Sorry, brothers and sisters. Some people wanted to drop off some things. Alright, So, like I say, my instinct still stands that, they have a presence and statue high enough where they can communicate with this U.S. government uh, on the behalf of a of a of a how can I say, a people that has no voice. These people has no voice. The Congressional Black Caucus is stepping up to somewhat be that voice inside of the Congress, among Congress, so to speak. So that's why, and they help with information and things of that nature. And I'm still, me as you, all of us should be researching the brothers and sisters also, since they are stepping up to the plate where we can find a way to support them totally and fully, what I'm saying, and cover the news about them. If you got a blog open, cover the news about the Black Caucus. You an African American man and woman, you have a blog open, start spreading the news, okay? Just like the white folks, when they woke up to how they can stay in contact with each other, on how they can, keep a bird's eye on their caucus, okay? Remember back in those days, that's when they started promoting what? Start spreading the news. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like it says in the Bible, well, I'm catching on the next clip, brothers and sisters, because I'm calling in the sick, calling in those with heavy burdens on this show. So this particular, video is for those, what I'm saying, that's sick, in their heart, in their spirit, and there's a little voice inside of their heart that's calling them back to their traditions, back to their culture. This is who I'm talking to. Those that are homeless, those that are even has property, that they're written, that's not theirs. Property could be yours. If you subscribe to the channel, let's make this channel out to be something that's a doorway for Black Americans coming back to our culture and our tradition openly and internationally, so we can start communicating, brothers and sisters, with our brothers and our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters over there in Damona, where a lot of us that's made it from the United States of America, that's coming up under our culture and our true nationality as Hebrew Israelites, and back practicing our traditions. You know what I'm saying? And me away over here in this corner of the planet, in the hills of North America, is just yelling for us brothers and sisters to start in our hearts. Wherever you are, start in your heart, coming back to our Father. Know that God loves you. He sent his only son, you see what I'm saying, his only son, to teach us these ways. And Jesus said he don't come for those that consider themselves well. So if you in your heart consider yourself well, you don't want to come here, man. Yeah, you don't want to come here. But those that are Black African American men and women, we have to make way for our children. So I will call the Black African men and women in the United States of America, coming from the 60s, the 70s, or coming from the 40s, no later back than the 40s. You still living from the 30s, press subscribe, man. You might be able to see a significant change for Black Americans in the 21st century. That's what Jesus said. One have the faith the size of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? The wonders we can be able to accomplish. You know what I mean? But there, on this show, brothers and sisters, you will not see no miracles. You will not see no signs. The only thing you will run into is the performance and application of the word of our Father. You know what I mean? And everything that has to do with the Black Caucus, in which it is dead to its own culture and its own traditions. You know what I mean? So, okay, so all my Black American Hebrew brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, that still sleep to their true nationality as Hebrew, then you want to, kind of exercise your, what's going on with you, brothers and sisters, come on to the show. Subscribe to the channel, and this is what we're talking about. This is what we're coming into on a daily, until this message of our Father touches four corners of the earth, that Jesus was not a white man. This is the gospel of peace for all humanity, for that we've been suffering while we were being fed the propaganda about his true nationality. Now that we are waking up to who he really is and who he's been talking to, then we are to take this to all four corners of the earth, us, the Black Americans, as we are starting to do. We have groups of us waking up as who we are as Hebrew Israelites. So let's keep it black. That's all our Father is asking his children. Let's keep it black, just like the Mexicans keep, what they do, what they are. Keep it how it is, among them, okay, and it's just like the whites has been doing that for over 400 years. And all God's saying is Judah needs to do the same thing. And God stamped his stamp of approval on his word. And when he said it shall not depart, he said, my authority shall not depart from them. Shall not depart. So that's something that's blackness from beginning to the end. And what that means is once we become independent of who we are, then we can be like everybody else then, you see, and then pull in, other nationality of Israel. Where we can start communicating a little bit more efficiently, among each other. In this predicament that we in, and where we are now is the Congressional Black Caucus is, let's just say, if we was to put this skeleton in, the Bible, and or put the Bible skeleton inside of our situation, it would be the Congressional Black Caucus would be the capital of Jerusalem, so to speak, just say, because they are dealing with political matters that engulfs a spiritual and holy, misguided people. Yeah, spiritual and holy. You know what I mean? And this wasn't what we was meant to run into, brothers and sisters. This is something that was, like Malcolm said, fell upon us. We didn't fall upon it, Yeah, it fell upon us. And as it fell upon us, it didn't give us no way out of being stepped on. And it's still stepping on us to this day, as long as HR 40 is not being recognize. As long as they, because so brothers and sisters that believe HO40 got deleted, got batted down. Okay, let's just say if they did, brothers and sisters, if they did, then these video and every motherfucking video I made is nothing. Just like it says in the Bible, if we preach if we preach the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and he did not resurrect from the dead in 3 days like it was prophesied, then what we're teaching is in vain. It means nothing. So if HR 40 did by Congress get thrown out, knowing the magnitude of its significance, then all these videos I made don't mean a motherfucking thing. All right, brothers and sisters, it don't mean nothing. And all the videos will just prove that out of millions and millions of black Americans in the United States of America, these videos would just prove that out of millions and millions and millions of people of the black American caucus, only one out of these millions believed in God, the real God that says his scepter shall not, the authority of our Father shall not depart from black and African American people. And I don't care how you twist it upside down, tear it apart to put it back together. Matter of fact, turn it into some cheese. I don't care how you cut it, it's gonna still be cheese. And he said, shall not depart. And I don't care how you twist it up in there. I don't care. You can't. Because as he said, his scepter shall not depart from black and African Americans. Let us come to build what our Father know in his heart and his mind, and he has put in our hearts. Let us come to help build this, to leave to our children, other than just leaving them stereotypes.